What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over my NHL draft rankings for 2023. Now, if you guys are new, please hit that subscribe button if you like NHL content, things like mock drafts, series predictions, standing predictions, mock trades, and so much more. I would also like you guys to click the like button if you enjoy the video. And apart from that, kick back, relax, and enjoy the rankings. Now, our first player is going to be Connor Bedard. This goes without much explanation, and I'm sure you guys have heard all about him, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But I will say he is one of those top players who can come in and make an impact right away on an NHL roster. He put up 143 points in 57 games in the WHL and dropped 20 points in 7 playoff games. He's outproduced the likes of McDavid and Crosby in their draft years, and this is with poor quality teammates on the Regina Pats. Second on our list is going to be Adam Fantilli. Ever since from returning from the World Juniors, Adam Fantilli has just flipped the switch. He's become this more consistent and well-rounded player. This year, with the University of Michigan, he's put up 65 points in 36 games, and many considered his World Juniors as a poor performance, yet he was only 2 points below point per game. He posted 5 points in 7 games. Adam Fantilli is a big center who has great playmaking ability. He can play that physical style of games, and if it weren't for the likes of Connor Bedard, he would be the first overall pick in this year's draft. Now, if it weren't for his contract and we were going based on skill only, I would have Matvei Michkov in this position, but since he is under contract through the 2025-2026 season, I do have Leo Carlsson going at number 3. Leo Carlsson's a big center who can skate well and has good finish. He can also play the wing. His two-way game is very good right now and has that first-line potential. And although it isn't a deciding factor or it's a kind of meaningless stat, he did outperform Adam Fantilli at the World Junior Championship. Now, something worth noting is that Leo Carlsson's ceiling is definitely a bit lower than Matvei Michkov's, but his floor, I would say, is higher than Matvei Michkov. And that leads us into our fourth selection, which is Matvei Michkov. Now, Michkov had 20 points in 27 games with Sochi of the KHL. He is a fantastic player with such a high ceiling, but the only thing is he comes with that contract that is signed through the 25-26 season. Now, with that being said, if a team who's rebuilding wants to kind of gather some top picks in the upcoming years, this may be a perfect pick for them, as Michkov will be joining their lineup most likely during his prime. Now, coming in at number 5 is Will Smith, who had a whopping 126 points in 59 games in the USDP. On top of that, he had 20 points in 7 games in the U18 championships. Now, Will Smith is a very smart and fast player who has a great playmaking ability. He is a right-handed center, and it is important to mention that he was just named MVP of the U18s. Something that's also interesting to note with Will Smith is that his production is up there with the likes of Logan Cooley and Jack Hughes. Now, coming in at number 6 is Zach Benson. Zach Benson was second in WHL scoring behind the one and only Connor Bedard. He had 98 points in 60 games played with the Winnipeg Ice. Zach Benson has this unreal playmaking ability. Now, the only flaw I would say with Benson is that his skating could use some work, but with that being said, he makes up for it with his high IQ and his ability to create space for himself and his teammates. Now, I would say Zach Benson is one of, if not the best playmaker in this draft. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Dalibor Dvorsky. Dalibor Dvorsky had 13 points in 7 games in the past U18 championship, and he also had 14 points in 30 games in the Allsvenskan. So Dvorsky is one of the younger players in this draft, and he is a decent skater, but he does lack a bit of that explosive speed. Dvorsky's shot is very good. He has a very quick release and a great wrist shot, and along with that, he is a great passer. Now, coming in at number 8 is someone who's been climbing these rankings pretty fast recently, and that is Ryan Leonard, one of Will Smith's teammates. Ryan Leonard had 93 points in 56 games in the USDP, and at the most recent U18 championship, he had 17 points in 7 games. Ryan Leonard is one of those skilled players that can score, but who also comes with a lot of grit and physical play. He is a power forward that seeks out violence, as mentioned by elite prospects. Ryan Leonard is a very well-rounded player who has a great stride and is strong on his feet, and who also has a fantastic release. Ryan Leonard is what I would consider a dog. He has that dog in him. He has that fight in him, and he's one of those guys that you would love to have on your team come playoff time. Now, coming in at number 9 is Andrew Crystal. Andrew Crystal had 95 points in 54 games played with Kelowna of the WHL. At the U18s, he had 6 points in 7 games and had a pretty good showing. I would say earlier on in the year, Crystal was much higher up in the rankings, but he just at times can seem very unengaged. He's a great player, but there just comes these games where you just don't even notice him. The goods are very good when it comes to Crystal, but when it gets bad, it gets really bad. Crystal's edges are great, but his stride definitely needs some work, and he isn't very explosive like Dvorsky. Another issue with Crystal is he barely plays defense right now, so once he gets into an NHL system, it will be interesting to see how his offensive numbers change when he has to play defense. Now, coming in at number 10 is one of Ryan Leonard and Will Smith's teammates, and that's Oliver Moore. Moore put up 74 points in 60 games in the USDP, but it is important to note that his line mates weren't as good as the likes of his teammates Leonard and Smith. Moore strives in attacking defenders and has a fantastic transition game. He also anticipates really well and is an elite skater. I would say he is one of the best skaters in this draft. He also really popped in the second half of the season. The first half of the season, he kind of started off a little bit slow, but the second half of the season, he has been unreal. Now, coming in at number 11 is Owen Sound's captain, Colby Barlow. Barlow had 79 points in 59 games and had a very good start to the season, and then he kind of cooled down near the end. This guy's a pure goal scorer, though. He had 46 goals in the regular season, and then he had 3 goals in 4 playoff games. And then also, at the most recent U18s, he had 3 goals in 6 games. So this guy really knows how to rip it. Now, at number 12, we have our first defenseman in this draft, David Reinbacher. Reinbacher's playing in the top men's Swiss league, and he is a big defenseman who can skate very well for his size. He can also take the body very well. It is also important to note that he is a right-handed defenseman, so teams will be all over this guy. And he is a great passer with fantastic patience and vision. I would project Reinbacher to end up becoming a top 4 defenseman in the NHL. Now, my 13th and last selection is going to be Edward Chalet. Edward Chalet has definitely fallen down the rankings a bit, but that is just because of the performance of other guys. Chalet is a big boy who can play left or right wing. He has great hockey IQ and reads the play very well. Another thing with Chalet, though, is he could work on his skating, but he has a great release, and he's playing with men currently. Pause. But yeah, he's playing in the top Czech men's league, and he has 14 points in 43 games, although it is important to note that he did go pointless in his 6 playoff games, which is why I have him at 13. But Chalet has some great upside, and I do think he will become an everyday NHLer eventually. So that wraps up our 13 selections. Like I said, these aren't the right selections. There are no right selections until draft day comes and we see what happens. Some pretty crazy things happen on draft day, so you never know what's going to go on. But if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below. Maybe let me know who you think should be higher, who should be lower. Click the like button and subscribe so you can see more videos like this. And if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to comment them as well. I'm always open to suggestions, and I love communicating with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.